Kia ora team, welcome back to the Black Jersey. It's your boy Max and I'm the channel host, and today's video is going to be my final video of the 2021 rugby season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody for the weeks coming ahead. Next season we're going to delve into things like season previews to Super Rugby. I'm going to give a couple of my hot takes before the season starts, but more importantly, we have the 2021 World 15 to pick. As usual, I've obtained my stats from Ultimate Rugby, the app which I use for pretty much all my stats videos. And yes, they've provided me with some great insights that was really helpful for picking my World 15. Hopefully they do a promo with me at some stage. But anyway, I want to say that I have tried to put my bias aside as best I can. I have 2 Welsh players, 2 Scottish players, 2 Australians, we'll call them Fiji B. I've got 2 French players, I've got 3 English players, 3 Irish players, 4 South Africans and 5 All Blacks. So I have done my very best to be impartial while picking this team. What I'm going to do throughout the video is I'm going to show the statistics for my starting 15 while I'm telling you why I selected this particular player. But before we do that, I just want to tell you who my bench would be. So my reserve hooker would be Ronan Kelleher for Ireland. Even though he missed the British and Irish Lions series, he made some very impressive performances throughout the year. And after Jamie George and Ken Owens had that form slip, I'm actually starting to reconsider if he should have got picked for the Lions. My number 17 was Wyn Jones. In my previous video, I referred to him as the best player in his nation. I just wanted to go with a different loosehead prop just because this other one provided a bit more impact. Then with our number 18, I wanted Taniela Tupou from Australia. Born in Tonga, wanted to play for Australia, bit of a dream of his. My number 19 is Adam Baird from Wales. Fantastic performances for Wales and the British and Irish Lions, possibly better than Alan Wyn Jones at this point. My reserve loose forward is Sia Khaleesi. It was very hard to pick my loose forwards, and so I've found a place for the Springbok captain in jersey number 20. My reserve halfback is Tate McDermott from Australia, a bit more lively than a lot of the other halfbacks going on right now, and I think he's just got a bit more tempo to his game. He runs very good support lines. I've got Marcus Smith in jersey 22. About time the guy first got capped for England. He's playing outstanding footy right now. And my jersey 23 is Gael Ficou, a real solid rock in that French lineup. Absolutely class. Now that I've told you my bench, the whole bench is up on screen, and we're going to get into my starting 15, starting from the Loosehead Prop. My loosehead prop is Steven Kitshoff. As you can see, some very good stats. He doesn't have a massive running game, no tries for the year, but what he does have is very good defence and a powerful scrum. South Africa's scrum looked far better with Kitshoff on the field. Every single time he made a game for South Africa, he was just outstanding throughout the year. Far more impact than Wyn Jones, I believe. Whenever he came off the bench, the impact was just added instantly. He was crazy good against the All Blacks, crazy good against the British and Irish Lions. He held the scrum together against Australia, and on the end of year tour he was still playing some fine rugby even though they weren't starting the guy. I think Steven Kitshoff is absolutely outstanding. If it weren't for he could probably get to 100 tests. Fingers crossed he can, because he deserves nothing more than to reach 100 tests. My hooker is Cody Taylor. Dane Coles may be getting a bit of the glory with scoring 7 tries from 6 tests this year, but Taylor is well and truly the first choice hooker for the All Blacks. Some people are trying to say it's not a vintage season for Taylor, and yet 521 minutes played is a massive amount. 3 tries, not freaking bad for a hooker. 153 metres, absolutely outstanding stuff. This guy can throw on the line out, he can break the line, he made a massive amount of tackles, a few turnovers as well to go alongside it. Cody Taylor had a mammoth year, and I think he was just exhausted towards the end of it. I'd give him a 9 out of 10 for this season, and you know what? Getting Taylor proved to be a real winning point for opposition whenever he was playing. Targeting Taylor and making him have a bad game is pretty much the key to beating the All Blacks at this point. My number 3 is the best Irish player in the country, Tadhg Furlong, the second to greatest athlete currently playing for the nation besides the MMA fighter Conor McGregor. Furlong did not make any turnovers this year, but his ball carrying off the charts, 13 defenders beaten. This guy can beat defenders for days. He can make meters for days. He's a very prolific tackler as well, and he tends to play deep into the second half. He's a very fit fella, and my goodness, Tadhg Furlong just seems to get better and better. He never seems to stop playing great footy. Number 4, Eben Etzebeth, no questions there, what a monster. 12 tests played, including a man of the match performance against Scotland, huge against the British and Irish Lions in that line-out. He was stealing line-out ball off the opposition all the time. Quite a few metres made comparing the other front rowers in the Springboks and the other type 5 forwards in the Springboks. Quite a few passes as well. Etzebeth has real soft hands, which makes him a great player to link up with others when you're looking for a type 5 forward that can just get a bit of more pace going around the field. Etzebeth made a massive 83 tackles too, 5 turnovers as well. His defence is just a rock. Most consistent type 5 forward of 2021. He was ripped off from a nomination for World Rugby Player of the Year. I'm going to call it now. He is South Africa's greatest ever player. My number 5, Mara Itoje, just behind Etzebeth. He was the Lions Tour Player of the Tournament as voted by his teammates. He reached 50 tests for England this year, a man of the match performance against South Africa in the first test of the Lions series. He also played 80 minutes of every single test he was eligible for. He was eligible to play 8 tests for England this year, and obviously he was eligible for the 3 Lions tests. Couldn't play any mid-year tests for England because he was with the Lions. Every single game on offer, he played the whole way through. That's almost unheard of. Richie McCaw and Kieran Rees did play every minute of every game in 2010, and I do not believe a single player has done that for a Tier 1 nation since then. He made the most turnovers of any player in World Rugby this year. Mara Itoje has to be very proud of himself, a future Lions captain, absolutely. So for number 6, I have gone with Courtney Lawes over Siya Kolisi. I wanted to pick Courtney Lawes as he does add that extra line-out jumper. I did not think he was going to go on the British and Irish Lions tour as he suffered an injury during the Six Nations, but he had a great comeback. He was immense for the Lions, and he then captained England for the first ever time in the Autumn Nations series. Courtney Lawes can run the ball, but also obviously his tackling's just world class. A few turnovers as well. Look, Courtney Lawes could have played far better this year, but ultimately he was better than my other pick, Siya Kolisi, for my selections, as I want to select my team as if it's actually going to play, and I just need that extra line-out operator. He would be in jersey 20 otherwise, but for the sake of picking a proper team, I've got to put him in at 6. I was never going to pick anybody else as my number 7. Hamish Watson may be playing for a Scottish side that is really struggling right now, but look, he had a massive year. 2 man of the match performances throughout this year. He was the Six Nations player of the tournament, 10 tests played. The guy runs like a battering ram, and he also made the most tackles of any player in Test rugby this year. Hamish Watson's world class. He gets over the ball so well. His turnover technique, just brilliant. I wish I could do it like that. Hamish Watson has had a beautiful year of rugby. He's put together an amazing body of work. Let's give the guy a round of applause. Ardie Savea, the number 8, the best player in the world. I was very surprised to see he didn't get any Man of the Match awards this year, but you know what? This guy, crazy consistent, captained our country for the first time ever. He was the New Zealand Rugby Player of the Year. He reached 50 tests from the country, although he did have a bit of an injury rather, so he did only play 10 tests. Ardie Savea though, look at his running game. Off the charts, especially for a loose forward. Defenders beaten for days, a lot of tackles made too, turnovers very good there as well. The thing is, he doesn't make a ridiculous amount, but he makes them at the right time because he knows, as I've repeatedly said, when and when not to compete for the ball. He basically never gives away any penalties. Such a brilliant athlete, a brilliant rugby player, truly the best player in world rugby. It was a no-brainer as to who my 9 was going to be. Anton Dupont was the best of the 4 nominees for World Rugby Player of the Year, and I'd consider him to be the second to best player in World Rugby after Ardie Savea. Just like Savea, he's got a massive amount of metres run, a massive amount of defenders beaten. Obviously, he made the most passes of any player in this team as well, as he is a halfback. Goodness me, what a genuine world-class halfback France have in their hands. He is going to be a handful at the World Cup. Look at his defence as well. You don't see halfbacks making turnovers too often, and yet look at him. Look at his stats. Just beautiful defence from Anton Dupont. He is a complete player now, and I do believe he does have the potential to overtake Savea to become the best player in the world. My first 5 is Richie Mo'unga. I'm probably going to get lots of hate in the comments for this, but you cannot deny that he is the best 10 in the world. I will continue to say he's better than Beauden Barrett. I will continue to say that Barrett is not a 10. Mo'unga has brilliant tactical kicking. He knows exactly when to cross kick, when to kick the ball out into the opposition half. He knows exactly which carrier to select when he's controlling the game. He knows exactly who to pass to in what situation. He's got great communication skills. I don't know why everyone continues to bag his defence. It is outstanding. His tackling percentage remains above 80% year on year. 2 turnovers as well. You don't see that from a 10 too often. His running meters and his amount of defenders beaten will possibly be distorted by the tier 2 nations that he's played, but my goodness, 2 Man of the Match awards in a row against the Wallabies. That's pretty much unheard of nowadays. Not too many clean breaks though, as he does know when to pass. Quite a lot of passes too, as you can see, 175. That comes with playing at 10. Mo'unga is a complete player. He's already one of the highest point scorers in our country's history. It's time for people to start giving him the respect he deserves and start saying he is the best 10 in world rugby, because he is. For the left wing, we have a guy who should probably be playing for the Springboks right now, and it must really hurt South Africa to see Duhan van der Merwe turning out to Scotland week in, week out, and becoming the top try scorer of the Six Nations. Duhan van der Merwe had a brilliant year of rugby. Duhan van der Merwe beat 50 defenders this year. That's almost unprecedented. I've never heard of anything like it at test level. He is the first power winger that Scotland has genuinely had, and my goodness, are they playing better because of it. Duhan van der Merwe has a complete game. He's powerful, he's agile, he's fast, and of course he's got great defence. His defensive capabilities, rushing at people under the high ball, was a crucial tactic for the British and Irish Lions, and I really, really hope this guy can keep playing good rugby, because wingers do tend to fall off after they turn 27. Fingers crossed this guy won't, because he is playing magic rugby right now. He's a wizard. Now, my midfield combo isn't being selected for their running, for their defenders beaten, for anything like that. I wanted to pick Robbie Henshaw because he's a perfect player at enabling the guys outside him. He did only score 1 try this year, but he did play some very good footy. He was very good for the British and Irish Lions, had a man of the match performance against England. Robbie Henshaw knows exactly when to pass, when to take the ball into contact, and when to just run for it and go for gold as a crash ball runner. He is a complete 12 who can play at 13 as well, but I wanted to select someone at 13 who plays similar to him so I can get 2 midfielders who will really complement each other beautifully. Robbie Henshaw, hats off to him for having a great year. I think he would have made the All Blacks lose by even more points had he played against us this year. Yes, my 13 is Lukhanyo Arm. Like I said, I wanted to pick a player similar to Henshaw who could really enable the players outside him. As you can see, Arm has not made too many passes, and that's because of South Africa's tactics to kick the ball a lot. Lukhanyo Arm, though, when he does pass, enables complete magic outside him. Not too many meters run because he is completely focused on doing what is best from the team. I was so wrong about him in the past. I used to bag him all the time saying he was good for nothing, he wasn't good at rugby, but goodness me, he has evolved into a brilliant player. His defence is a real force to be reckoned with. It annoys me so much when the All Blacks play against South Africa, and chances are, if your opposition's playing really well and annoying you, chances they're pretty darn good. 5 turnovers too, very respectable for a 13. He played the full 80 minutes of every test he played this year, and a man of the match performance against Argentina this year. What a year for Lukhanyo Arm. He deserves a lot more respect from the public. He's a great player. My number 14, Will Jordan, became a regular starter for New Zealand for the first time this year, and he amassed 15 tries from 11 tests, deservedly winning World Rugby's Breakthrough Player of the Year. He got more than 3 tries against the USA and Tonga, where he was man of the match as well. 5 against Tonga, quite a lot for one game. His running meters off the charts, carries, defenders beating, clean breaks, all off the charts. He's a very solid defender as well. I don't think he's ever going to nail a starting spot at fullback either, because he's just so good on the wing, and you can't fix what isn't broken. 5 turnovers again as well. He knows when to intercept, he knows when to chip and chase, and he runs brilliant support lines. He is the ultimate attacking player, and I hope he gets better, and I hope he bucks the trend of wingers in New Zealand having short careers. My number 15, Jordie Barrett, has really come out of the shadows of his older brothers, and he has evolved into the world's best fullback. Jordie has become a far better player than I ever expected him to. He's made massive work on his defence. His goal kicking is a real force to be reckoned with. He runs the ball very well as well when he does finally choose to run it during the games. 26 defenders beaten as well, very good for this fullback. Jordie Barrett has really cemented his position as our 15, which was a real uncertain jersey for a very long time. Long live Jordie Barrett in the 15 jersey. He's had an outstanding year, and he's played the second to most minutes of any All Black this World Cup cycle, 1,161 minutes. That is huge. So just to recap my World Rugby World 15 for 2021, here's the whole team over here including the bench. It was a real pleasure to select this team. As I said, I chose the team based on their stats I provided from Ultimate Rugby and the style of play that they bought, that made me really happy and allowed me to select a kind of team. I want you guys to have a really good summer or winter if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, and I also want you to have a Merry Christmas. Please remember to go and follow me on Instagram, where I've got 12,000 followers. I've also got a Patreon account and a Subscribe Star account if you ever want to make a small donation to me. I've also got a Discord server for the Black Jersey. If anyone's ever keen to have a yarn with a small group about rugby, come and join the Discord server. Me and my team members are also developing a website where we're going to write articles about the stuff I talk about on this channel. Thank you so much for a brilliant year, guys. I never thought I was going to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I never thought I was going to get over 200,000 views on my channel, but here we are. It's a blessing. Thank you so much. God bless you guys, and I'll see you later.